God you are. To not know your purpose is a tragedy. It's a disaster. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy. It's a disaster. You may tomorrow be gone. Tomorrow may never come. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to purpose for living now. Like in this you will build your soul. In this you will be the difference. In this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity.
Saturday, the 9th of October 2021.
You will build your soul. In this you will be the difference. In this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity.
Mentoring Hour.
And I
Coming your way.
What state of God you are, it's a disaster.
From One to One Mentoring Network.
To not know your purpose is a tragedy. It's a disaster.
The body that is yet towards
sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows,
guiding families, parents,
symphony,
children to also identify and live in their purpose.
Rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. The world is waiting.
In the background, is Purpose song from Fafa.
Do you feel free?
And as she says, the world is waiting for you.
Shine.
The world is waiting for you to shine. In whatever purpose that you have discovered as yours.
Like a star.
You shine in that purpose as a star.
Oh.
And wherever that star goes, it dispels darkness. That is what Mentoring Hour is all about. Helping us to activate the star within us so we can shine so brightly.
Wake up to purposeful living now.
Today,
difference, and that you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity.
We have Marvin on the line. Stephanie also on the line, and I know Dr. Susan will be joining us. Yes, Mr. Marvin Rotamonda. Dr. Stephanie Adeyemi.
What state of God you are, it's a disaster.
Dr. Susan Oza.
Oh yeah. To not know.
And yes, today we will be talking about how mentorship can help your child to succeed. Well, we've spoken a lot about mentorship on this very program. I think it is in line for us to throw a little bit more light on the fact that we are not meant to even reinvent the wheels. There are some people who have walked the path and they know all the bumps, the potholes on the road. Maybe there are new potholes that have come. But whichever way, once they guide you to know how to drive within potholes, you will definitely be able to drive on whichever road that you find yourself on. So today, how can mentorship help your child to succeed? That is what we are talking about. So without much ado, I will welcome my guest for today. Good morning, Marvin. Good morning, Dr. Susan, and good morning, Dr. Adeyemi. Oh, okay, Dr. Stephanie. Right. Good morning, everyone. I think you are all on mute. Yes. So
Good morning. Good
yes,
morning, Papa. Good
yes,
morning.
yes.
Good morning.
It's
Good
Good
good.
morning.
It's
morning,
good.
all.
It's good to see your beautiful faces and your handsome face once again.
Good to see you too,
Excellent.
Papa.
Well, people were trying to beat me. Where are the wonderful one-to-one mentoring network team? They seem to giving us a tip of some juicy stuff and then they've taken it away. They were trying to beat me. But now that you are here, I think I'm relieved. They will understand. So let's go straight away to what brought us here today. How can mentorship help my child to succeed? I'll start with you, Dr. Susan.
Sorry. Good morning. Good morning. And I'm saying hello also to my colleagues. Thank you so much for taking out your Saturday. I know how busy Saturdays are. Yeah, so I just felt this was I know we've done this topic, Papa, before, probably last year in specific, a different way. But I just thought that 1 year on, after we've been registered as a charity and seeing the benefits of mentorship for us as a charity, as well as for some of our other beneficiaries, which will be the parent heritage or parents, children of the parents who access our parent heritage. I thought it was time for us to talk about, our listeners and viewers thinking about the fact that mentorship is just not something for just adults, but it's very important to think about mentorship for your child as young, even if they're very young. And, in terms of parents starting off by mentoring their own children, encouraging other family members to mentor their own children, as well as actually actively looking for mentorship for their children, one way or the other. I mean, you can even have children who mentor each other, which we call buddy mentoring. And you can have even spiritual leaders, we know that mentoring as well, not necessarily just mentoring in terms of just providing spiritual coaching or spiritual mentoring, because coaching is different from mentoring. We're talking about mentorship. But looking at how somebody that they are probably providing spiritual counseling can also be signposted to somebody who can provide mentorship. And I know that young people, quite a number of young people might be having or receiving some form of counseling or the other, because we have to be very careful that we don't confuse counseling and mentoring. So mentorship, really, what is mentorship? Just to recap what mentorship is. Mentorship is basically somebody who decides to be in someone's life to provide them value so that they can succeed. It's just so simple. It's nothing complex. And so many of us do it without realizing it. The difference is that when you've actually actively decided to be a mentor, you may go ahead and probably acquire some specific skills, to understand how you can be an effective mentor, how you can help somebody achieve their goals. Um, you know, Not easily. There's nothing like easy, but basically you guide them. You're a wise guide. You are what we call a soundboard. You are non-judgmental, and you are there, and the person just comes to you because you can provide certain life lessons, you know, or you can get somebody to tap into your experience. So if we put it in the context of children, breaking it down, I mean, for me as a mother, I've got my children are adults now. When I call them children, I even you know, cringe, because they are young men, young adults. And even before I understood what a mentor was, bearing in mind that I immigrated from Ghana to this country quite a number of years ago. I was doing it without realizing that not only was I providing parenting, which a lot of us would do naturally, but I was providing mentorship as well. So when you sit down and you are doing your homework, people just take it for granted that, okay, you are a parent, so of course you help your child to do homework. But you see, when you extend the homework, okay, so apart from helping them to do their homework, you are providing them with other skills. So I'll break it down. For example, when my children were very young, even before they started school, we'll go for a walk and I'll point out the numbers on the door. I'll point out the colors. And we used to walk a lot. And I used nature to teach my children. Okay. Then obviously, as they grew up, apart from school and getting interested as a parent in their schooling, we will connect them into tutorship and then start talking to them about life, and then provide them with the connections and the links to help them along. And I did that for some of my nieces up to this day and my nephews as well, apart from other people's children as well. So you can be yourself as a resource, as a parent, as an auntie, as a godmother, as a grandmother. Be a very useful resource that can help a child to move along a certain trajectory without it being necessarily parenting, even though it's all part and parcel, but you can actually separate the two, where you are actively providing mentorship for a child so that they can achieve specific aims. So it's nothing. You are being a wise guide, you're being a soundboard, you are helping somebody very not selfishly. It isn't for gain. Normally with coaching, people coach to get something. Because I've got both a diploma in mentoring and coaching. I'm a level 8 accredited coach and accredited mentorship. So it's not just because I've experienced it, but I've actually learned this thing. And I did that on purpose because I've been the founder of a mentoring organization. I wanted to understand what is the basics. When we're saying we're mentoring or coaching or we're a mentorship organization, are we doing the right thing? Are we actually doing the right thing? Or we just feel that no mentor in our organization, there's no mentor that does not have some kind of basic training around understanding mentorship. And this is why I feel very passionate to spread out the message there for parents to think outside the box, to start thinking about, okay, how do I get my child from A to Z? That is, there is this proverbial thing that we know that, people say, oh, Chinese mothers are they call them pushy, or ambitious for their children. I love that. Why not? Open our eyes and see what people from Asia are doing, people from China are doing. There's nothing wrong in that. So when they are taking their children from point A to B, they've already decided we need a strategy. This is mentoring. You need a strategy. Even if the child is coming from you don't leave that strategy to the teacher. And all you parents here, Marvin, you have a young child. Steph, one day you're going to have a child. And everybody listening whether your children are now, if they're adults, then that doesn't stop even when they're adults, because you can still provide that mentorship into their university, their colleges, their apprenticeships, their adult life, their children, their marriages, their relationships. Apart from and spiritual mentoring as well. Okay, so you can't just say, oh, I'm leaving. I have 6, 3, 4, 2 jobs to do, so the school can do that, the rest of it. No. I grew up in Ghana and my parents didn't do that. So people think that, well, that's what we did. This is how we grew up in Ghana. No, I grew up in Ghana and my parents just didn't leave it to school and leave me to boarding school. My parents provided now I understand mentorship. My parents were mentoring me all along. when I finished my A levels and my O levels, and they will still want me to do the NOVDEC. People from my generation understand what is NOVDEC. Steph, you didn't grow up in Ghana, so you were, in Nigeria, perhaps, so you didn't understand. You didn't do the West African examination. Steph, Marvin, maybe not. You do, Papa, if you remember.
I do know NOVDEC.
Exams, okay. Papa, if you remember, the exams were June. You did your O and your A levels in June, and then you got the chance to do it again. And our parents, even if you did your exams in June and the results hadn't come back, you still would do the NOVDEC. And if you remember, Papa, we used to have classes. What did we even used to call it summer classes. Do you remember? Holiday classes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What do people think parents were doing? Of course, Ghanaian parents want everybody to be doctor, engineer, architect, business, MBA, whatever. We know that. But Ghanaian parents at that time, they had what they had at that time, education. This is what Ghanaian parents had. They had education. So they were now helping us to, okay, how do you do your common entrance? How do you pass your common entrance? How do you pass your O level? What can we do for our children to do extra? That is why NOVDEC, some of us, our parents will take us through June, we do June, and then we do the NOVDEC. That was mentorship at that level, where your parent is taking an extra interest in you and not leaving it to teachers. So if you are in this country, in the United Kingdom, you are in Europe, and you are listening, and you are from our community, and you think for 1 second that everything that your child is going to get from school, and you are paying, you are sending your child to school, you are buying them school uniform, you are buying them this, you are buying them dinner, you are maybe taking them to certain clubs. So that's it. You are mistaken. You are mistaken. It cannot, and it's not just talk. It is not just about we are talking to our children. It's about talking to your child. There's a difference between talk to your child and actually talking. How has your day been? Are you being bullied? Are certain things happening in your life? And what are you finding difficult? Is there something that you can provide? Why do people do clubs? Because we know that in the future, all the university places, all the college places, it's not just about academia. It's about tapping into the child's other potential. What do they do? Can they draw? Are they good in crafts? Are they good in music? Are they good in cooking? Are they good in baking? When my child, my first boy, at 2 years of age, I had to bring a speech and language therapist, because at that time, Daniel when he speaks, it's like a chicken. You couldn't hear him, jargon. He was jargoning through his ears. I brought a health visitor who said to me, sorry, not a speech and language therapist, a health visitor at 2 and something, because I'm a pediatrician. At 2, if somebody is not talking too much, I'm not too worried. But at that time, I was a very junior doctor, and I didn't understand neurodevelopment. The health visitor said to me, he's doing everything, so don't worry, he will develop. That boy went on to win poetry competitions because we decided to nurture him. Not just leave it to health visitors in school. We decided to nurture him. We decided to give him opportunities for him to develop his speech, to develop his potential. He became a head boy in his school, and he won the overall head boy prize. Not necessarily that he was that academic, no. He wasn't the one who was the most academic didn't get that prize. He got the head boy prize, and he got the overall prize. That was a boy at 2 years old when we thought he couldn't talk. And it's not because we are pushy. We were providing mentorship for our children, and we didn't even at that time even know. If I knew half of what I know already, I probably would have done other things differently. So this is what I want to say I know I've talked a lot, and I need to give the stage to my colleagues, but I wanted to open this thing up to explain that yes, it's not an exciting topic, maybe, like we're talking about something medical, but These children are our future. These children are our legacy. Please, we already know what is against us when we have to work so many times harder. We know that. But let that change in our generation. I'm seeing Stephanie's generation, I'm seeing Marvin's generation, and they are doing, and our children, my grandchildren, you know, Marvin's children, Stephanie's children will even do better. We'll build on it. We'll build on it. Let our children not stand on our shoulders, please. Let our children float above our heads. I don't believe in my child standing on our children, our legacy standing on the head. No. We want them to float. Where the glass ceiling is shattered, we don't want them to get to the glass ceiling. We want our children to shatter that glass ceiling. It starts from when they are born, even before they are born, please. You are ministering to the children in that womb. Not only prayer, but you are talking to that child. When that child is born, you're not putting that child in front of TV. When you are putting them in front of TV, you are giving them educational things, you are timing them, and you are working with them through the TV. You are showing interest in that TV program. And then from there, you are looking at how that child is growing. Parenting is not just you are giving food, clothing, and everything. Parenting is hard, but it is also mentorship. Enough of my preaching. Thank you, Papa Smiley. I'm done speaking. You know me already. You open the floor with me, you know.
I think this morning, what did you drink? Did you drink something different this morning, or?
I am passionate. You know, I'm a pediatrician. I'm a mother.
I know.
I'm a mother. I'm a grand auntie. I'm a godmother. I'm a spiritual mother to a lot of people. And I'm a pediatrician. So I am, when it comes to generation and legacy, let me tell you, Papa, I'll tell you all something that I've been doing. For the last three years, I've been meeting with 3 of my best friends. I've set up something called Prayer for the Generation. So for those of you also lovely interested in spirituality, I set up prayer. We set up prayer for generations every single week. Every single week, a set specific day, every single week. We set up a half an hour prayer call for our generation and for other people's children, not just our children. So I am very, very passionate. And apart from the mentoring legacy and the physical and everything legacy, spiritual legacy is also very important. So it's not just about mentorship, it's the whole package. It's a 360 degree material, physical, academic, educational, spiritual. And in that thing, that whole big bubble, I believe that surrounding it is, of course, the spiritual. I believe in prayer, and I believe in all that. You know, I study mentoring and coaching, and spiritual coaching and spiritual mentoring and all life coaching and all that. It's all part of it. You know, in medicine, I can't, I have to be careful with adding the spirituality. In mentorship and coaching, that is part of it, because a human being is seen as a holistic, figure, not just one bit of it.
Thank you very much.
So I'm very, very passionate. So that's the answer to your question. Why am I like this? I am passionate about children. I'm passionate about legacy, and I'm passionate about generation. But we got to wake up and see how do we. That is why we have the parent heritage in 1-to-1, because that will empower parents to know how to equip their children from the womb.
Good one.
Thank you.
I think in that case, you took some passion pills this morning, so it is working. It is working very well. You've said quite a lot about mentorship, and I know Dr. Stephanie and Marvin have also gone through mentorship. So I will use them as the evidence board and ask, first of all, Dr. Stephanie, what, in her case, mentorship did for her. What did mentorship make her achieve? Did mentorship overstep any boundaries in her life or any other thing? So this one is evidence based. So Dr. Stephanie, tell us, what did mentorship do for you as an individual?
Thank you. So I think I will start by just talking about my experience with one-to-one, as that's my kind of most recent experience with mentoring. So I'm mentored by this amazing consultant. She's an obs and gynae consultant. And I think having her as a mentor has been really good for me, as I'm at the start of my career. And so it's been really good to have someone who has gone through all of the kind of journeys that I'm going through, someone who I can really talk to about how I'm feeling, especially as a Black woman navigating a career in medicine. I've found sometimes I'm the only Black doctor in the room. And so it's been really nice to have a Black consultant who is my mentor, who can talk to me about the same things that I'm going through. She's experienced them as well. So I think that's been really good, just helping me to understand my career, helping me to understand kind of my life on a personal level as well. I felt that that's really given me the confidence to go out and to kind of have the confidence within myself to know that I can achieve what I want to achieve. Because I think sometimes, I'm not sure about anyone else, but sometimes I've felt, especially last year, sometimes I felt kind of imposter syndrome. You know you've worked hard, you know that you deserve to be there. But sometimes when you don't see anyone else that looks like you almost begin to doubt yourself. You begin to feel that you can't really speak up, that you don't really have a voice. And so it's been really nice having my mentor, someone who I can speak to about that, as she kind of has given really good advice and has given me kind of the tools to really navigate that situation. And so I think it's really changed my life. I can see kind of the growth that I've had since starting one-to-one and since having her as a mentor. And I can see that I've grown, I can see that I've progressed, and I can see that I have a lot more confidence, and I have a lot more faith that I can really become the kind of doctor that I want to be. And I think that was something that was definitely lacking before. So I can see a clear difference. But I think going back to something that Dr. Susan was even saying about kind of your parents being your mentors, I think looking back, I've always said this, that I know getting into med school, even though I know I worked very hard, my parents are a key factor in that. I remember being in high school, and even though I was an all A-star student, I remember a teacher said to me, "Oh, have you ever considered social work?" And I remember going home and telling my parents, and they were saying, "No, that the teacher can't see what you can see for yourself, as in the teachers can't see what we can see for you." And I think having my parents reinforce the dreams that I had for myself really kind of gave me the confidence to apply for medical school, gave me the confidence to know that I could get in. So I think one-to-one has been an amazing kind of mentoring experience for me. But I think going back to what Dr. Susan was saying, my parents also have been amazing mentors in my life, looking back, with helping me get into medical school, helping me throughout my life, really, with education, with loads of different things. I know there have been times when maybe people around me have been negative, but my parents mentoring me and supporting me has given me the confidence to kind of navigate life. So I think those are two examples I can definitely say of clear mentorship in my life that has changed my life for the better.
Would you say the teacher was, in a way, the teacher that suggested social work for you, would you say she was in a way overstepping her boundaries?
I think, so when I spoke to my parents about it, especially my dad, he was saying that in his opinion, she can only, so in my school, for example, I was the only Black girl in my year. And I think maybe seeing me in that position, she was a teacher, and I think maybe she, in her mind, she couldn't really perceive me as a doctor. She couldn't really see someone like me becoming a doctor. I don't think she was overstepping her mark. I don't think it came from a malicious place. I think she just wasn't able to see that for me in a way that my parents could, or a way that I could. But I think when you're 14, 15, and you're so young, and you have someone who's in a position of authority giving you advice like that, I think if you don't have parents around you who are very supportive, it can really shape the way you see yourself, or the way your life goes. One of my good friends from university, even, she's always wanted to be a doctor. And she says in high school, a teacher told her, "You'll never get into medical school." So she ended up doing pharmacy. Now she's doing postgraduate medicine. And she says, "I don't think I can do that." because she's saying, oh, I'm finally doing what I've always wanted to do. But she could have done medicine before, but she says a teacher told her, you'll never get in. And she's also Black, like myself. And so I think it's not necessarily overstepping. I think the teachers just maybe just don't see it for you. And I have countless stories from university of people I met whose teachers told them, oh, you'll never get into UCL, or you'll never do law, who are doing law now, who are succeeding now. So I think it's having parents around you that motivate you, that say to you, it doesn't matter what your teachers say, you can achieve this, you can achieve that. So I think it is important.
Well,
Definitely.
in that case, then I reckon the kind of teachers we have now, they are a little bit substandard, isn't it? Because a teacher must see all possibilities in a child, not limit a child in any way whatsoever. Anyway, that will be another thing for another time. But have you met that teacher again after you becoming a junior doctor? Have you met that teacher?
I actually have not. We haven't had our kind of school reunion yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping maybe when we have we should have it soon, our 10-year
Mm-hmm.
reunion or
Mm-hmm.
something. I'll
Mm-hmm.
go back and maybe say, finally got into medical school. I've
Mm-hmm.
done all the
Mm-hmm.
things that
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
you didn't encourage me to do. I was able to do them in the end.
So tell me, what exactly? I know you've said a little bit as to what you'll be telling that teacher, but what exactly are you planning to tell that teacher if she is still he or she is still in teaching, so that going forward he or she wouldn't go that direction that he went with you? What do you actually plan to tell that teacher?
I think it would be a case of just saying maybe don't limit people's dreams. If someone is saying they want to achieve a certain goal, I think it's about supporting them to get there. Because so that was in my high school, I moved for the last 2 years of my education. So for my sixth form, I moved to a completely different school. And I felt that was my parents were the ones who encouraged me to move. And it was the best decision because when I moved to sixth form, I said I want to get to medical school. They said, okay, let's get you there. What universities do you want to apply for? Everything was about what do I want? And it was about them guiding me to get there. And I think that's what I would tell that teacher, that it's about encouraging students, not saying, oh, have you considered this, but saying, okay, if you want to do medicine, let's get you there. Let's find a way for you to get in. There's so many different routes into medicine now. There's so many different routes to kind of having the career that you want to have. But I think it's about teachers encouraging you, because I think teachers don't realize the power that they have. I think if one negative word can really knock someone's confidence, it can really shape how someone views themselves. And I think it's just about maybe just letting that teacher know in a kind way that maybe telling students, oh, have you considered this, isn't the way to do things.
Okay, thank you very much. And please be nice to that teacher, yeah? Please be nice to that teacher. Let's go to Marvin. Marvin is also been through mentorship, so he can share his experience with us. Over to you, Martin. Marvin, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think both my colleagues have highlighted a lot of key points when it comes to mentorship. I think Dr. Susan highlighted some key words about mentorship being very important if you want to succeed, is effective. And normally, if you have a mentor, they tend to have a sounding board from an experience standpoint, right? And it opens opportunity. My personally, because I know you highlighted that you want myself and Dr. Stephanie to highlight it from more of an evidence based. So for me personally, so I always knew about mentorship, and like Dr. Susan spoke about, you get people mentoring you in different ways that, due to the lack of knowledge around the subject, you might not even know that you're being mentored, right? So I had a different background, and I had the infrastructure to succeed, from a standpoint that my parents wanted the best for me, but I was, from an early age of 16, I was on my own to make those decisions for myself. But my parents were in the background, due to other reasons, but physically they were not present. So I had to make all these decisions on my own. And like Dr. Susan said, I had people around me who I took advantage of to learn from their mistakes, to empower me, guide me, right? Did I make a lot of mistakes along the way? Yes. Did I fulfill my full potential? No. Can I still get there? Yeah, if I'm willing to put that extra work in, I can still get there, right? But I could have done more. So going back to the benefits I've had with mentorship, currently being mentored by a really, really great guy. And I've never met this guy before. I've never met him physically before. I don't know him personally. And in the past 3 months, it's been the best time of my life from a mentorship standpoint, right? And as much as I've seen the theoretical part, as much as I've seen people asking me to mentor them, being in the experience I'm in now, it's an experience that I wish everyone can experience, right? Because the person who's mentoring me has opened my eyes to a different life, right? He's giving me the capacity to grow in a different light, and he's making me own the mentorship journey, right? So a lot of people tend to feel that when you're being mentored, you have to be pampered, or you have to you need a lot of hand holding, but you have to own the journey. And you have to be very attentive in what the person is trying to share, because the person I'm talking about has nothing like time. The person is in a different time zone, 8 hours behind, right? This person is 8 hours behind, and this person makes the time to talk to me between 5 and 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, when it's around 11 p.m. his time, right? And it's not every day. So when I get to talk to him, I have to make sure that that time I'm spending with him is very effective, right? And the opportunity he's given me, he's put me in a room with stakeholders that I wouldn't dream of being in a room with. And he's able to articulate the conversation for me to just be in there and listen, right? And why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this, that if you're being mentored, you have to own the journey. You have to push the status quo. You have to make the person know that you want it. It's easy to verbally say it. You have to practically give them that assurance that I need this, I want this. Take me to the next level. I'm going to be a bug in your ear. I'm going to showcase what I've learned within a short period of time. So sometimes if you want to be mentored, I'll say understand what mentorship is, understand the benefits of it, have a plan on what you want to attain from it, and it's fine to have multiple mentors, right? So this mentor I'm talking about, I looked at him from a professional standpoint, but I'm getting mentorship from a parent standpoint, where he shows interest in asking how my daughter is, and even if within a space of 30 seconds he can share his opinion and his ideas on how I should go about stuff, right? And another area where he's boosted my confidence, and sometimes you get to a stage in life where you feel like, oh yeah, you're there, but then you get to know yourself more. There was this scenario just happened about a few days ago, where he gave me an opportunity. He gave me a long rope to learn, right? And I had a chance to learn everything, and he told me to execute in a very short time frame, which, in my opinion, I should have executed the task that was given to me. But in my opinion, I failed to do that, right? And it's easy for you to say, yes, I failed. So as soon as the call ended, I owned it, and I called him and I said, I know I failed. I should have done this, this, and that, and I couldn't do it. I'm going to do better, right? Doing better means I don't know when the next opportunity is coming. And if that next opportunity comes and I don't take it, and I lose that relation or that opportunity to be mentored by him in a certain way, I have to own it that I didn't take the opportunity that was served to me, right? So I think mentorship is a very important tool. People say a lot, but until you know the benefits that you can get from it, you don't appreciate it. And it's also having the right person, and also you being in that right frame to receive that mentorship, because there are a lot of things you have to pick up on, even when, like, I sit here and I'm talking, and even talking to you guys, I'm even thinking about how he talks, how he paces himself, how he articulates himself during conversations. So there are a lot of things you have to learn. You will not be told directly, but you have to be ready to be receptive to a lot of learning points. So I think mentorship is a powerful tool. I'm being mentored. I've been asked to mentor people. People have asked me to mentor them, and I have people who want me to mentor them and I've not heard from them for a month, I'm not going to pick up a phone and call you and say, hey, are you okay? Or do you need this? I've given you a task. If you need me, come back. If you don't, I'm not going to chase you, right? And you don't expect your mentor to chase you. You get your mentor to a position where they're keen on then interacting with you. When they get to that level, and that interaction is key and is a mutual, because sometimes your mentor also has to learn from you, right? It shouldn't always be a one-way stream. So yeah, that's a little bit I'll say about and I think I went on in a bit of a bubble, but yeah, that's a little bit I'll say about mentorship.
You two have said a lot, and I love it. I saw Dr. Susan making some notes there, so perhaps she would want to throw a little bit more light on what you two.
How did you know that?
Doc.
Oh, okay, I picked up the pen. Okay.
So over to you, Doc.
Right. Yes. So, yes, thank you, Marvin and Steph. Marvin has given us a broad, reiterated the benefits, a broad view about the benefits of mentoring. And so I'm going to bring it back to the children again, because this is what, we are here to talk about. Steph, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your experience really with mentoring and how your parents took you through. And that's the notes some of the notes that I made. And this is something that I really want to talk to our viewers and listeners about school, about examinations, about teachers. We value our teachers. I know teachers do influence us a lot. I still remember my teachers and I still get chills with some of those teachers. When I see my teacher, I saw my head teacher when I went to Ghana a few years ago, and everything came back, all that respect, the fear. So teachers are one of those people that they shaped us. They helped shape us, apart from our parents. So all due respect to them, they are doing a fantastic job. Okay. However, what Steph is saying is very true. It depends on the teacher. It's very, very hit and miss. And this is not the first time I have heard people being told that you're not good enough for something. Yeah? Yes. I mean, this is some of this. These are realities. If you have a teacher who is teaching a class of 30, and they have to really manage the whole class, sometimes they might not necessarily know the child, depending on the child. If they are troublemakers, yes, they might probably get some, the teachers will start assessing them and think that they've got all the Tom, Dick, and Harry disorders. But if you're a very quiet child and you might have a bit of learning problems, you might not have learning problems, you're just shy, you might sit in the back and the teacher might not know you. So they might not necessarily know the full potential. So this is where the parent comes in. See, so we're going back to the same thing about how do you parent your child, and at the same time, how do you mentor your child? They are two different things that is a skill that one has to learn. A lot of parents are doing it already without calling it mentoring. Basically, you're being proactive when it comes to your child. You are questioning some of the results. You are talking to your child about the gaps. You are helping them to plug the gaps. Maybe one holiday to Ghana or two might be missed, or one holiday to Nigeria or any of the places that we go to may be missed, because that money might have to be put into extra classes for your child. You don't need to send your children to private schools. And there are some areas that you won't get grammar schools. There are a lot of children in state schools. It's harder, I'll be realistic. Because if you look at the private school and independent school and grammar school results, and you look at the state school results, there's a big difference, okay? They are worlds apart. The question is why? Those children in private schools are not extra bright versus children in state school. Everybody is born with their unique set of intelligence. It's all called opportunities. This is a world of opportunities. We're seeing it in the adult world. Look at Marvin. Marvin is getting mentoring from a country that's, calculate how many countries are 8 hours behind. We are not going to call the countries. Look at that opportunity he's getting. And it's happening all the time. Right from when they are little, they are coached, mentored and coached. You know, if you see some of the people from, say, the Asian community, people should ask, why do now, if you open your eyes, look at our doctors now. When I came here over 25 years, nearly 30 years ago, you know, there were doctors from the Asian community, but not many. Now, that's why I have a lot of friends in the Asian community. I admire them. I admire that community a lot. Well, some of my best friends are from that community. A lot of them. You go to GP surgery, you go to surgeons. Now, who is our chancellor? You think he got up and just walked into being a chancellor? No. Yeah, a lot of our doctors are from the Asian community, and I love it. You know, so if we look at the communities and see what they are doing, what are some of the things that they are doing that we as a community can emulate? And one thing that I know is that they really start from when they are very young. And when we started off, I used the word that there is a word out there. I don't like saying that mothers who have, I don't like to use the word pushy, because it's not a nice statement. When somebody is doing something and you are not doing it, then you are saying that that person is pushy. It's not. They are ambitious for their children. They want the best out of their children. Some people overdo it. You know, we are not naive. But people know that world out there is not easy. And you know, our community, I know we struggle. I know it's hard. But you know what? We can build on and build on and build on by also learning the tricks of the trade, learning how to mentor. How do we take our children from point A to point B? Who can help us? Marvin said something. Marvin said that one of the benefits of mentoring is helping you to look at opportunities. Basically, Marvin is saying that one of the benefits of mentoring is help you to think outside the box. It's such a beautiful benefit of mentoring. The person who is sitting in front of you, I call it resource, because there are so many different mentorships that can go out. People who can help you, you know, there are all sorts of different resources. But as you sit in front of them, they are using their brain, they are using their experience, they are using their life skills, they are using their career skills, and they are providing you, we call a novice, because there's always a little bit of it's unequal, because your mentor is your wise. They've done something that you have not done, you know, progression. You want to progress, they are helping you. So whether you're a child or an adult, as they are talking to you, they are opening your eyes for you to see opportunity. So parents here, if you don't have a mentor, it will be good for you to look at how mentorship can help you to help your child. How mentorship can help you to see other opportunities that exist that you didn't know that exist, so you can present those opportunities to your children. Now, it's very hard, especially with the exam system. Now we don't have the level playing field we used to have, where children will go and take an exam and then somebody is anonymized. It's a bit fair, okay? Now you are going according to how the teacher will grade you. Yeah. So if Stephanie, how many years ago, was told this, can you imagine the number of people who are not getting their UCAS places because their teachers didn't think that? I've heard it so many times, you know. Some of it has been done to some of my friends. There's a very good friend of mine, they told her daughter that the daughter has finished a degree in one of the top universities and now is doing medicine in one of the top universities. Thank you very much. And you know what is going to happen when it comes to applying for the doctor post, yeah? Whether in this country or any other country, she's going to be coming up at the top, because what? A degree and then a doctor degree? Goodness gracious, this is what they don't know. But that friend of mine has mentored her children. Both parents have mentored their children, apart from giving them that spiritual counsel. So it happens, it's real. So if we leave everything to the teachers, yes, yeah. So one of the things that I want to, I've made a few points, because one of the things that, how do we empower our parents? How do we empower ourselves as parents? I can say, as a mentor, I've look at yourself as a parent. One of the first things to do, and my colleagues have mentioned it, understand that a mentoring and parenting are different. They could overlap, but they are different. You are intentionally going out to seek, okay, how can I, apart from parenting my children, because so many people can parent their children, but it's about quality of parenting. How do you add some of that quality of parenting in adding a little bit of mentorship? So you need to understand benefits of mentoring. Lots of, you don't need to do courses. Just read about mentoring. Look at, benefits of how people, people who like to read, you can go online and search for how mentorship has helped people. So that's one. Look for other parents. We're not talking about parents who hide things that are good, because there are lots of parents like that. They don't want to see how their child is succeeding. They found this lovely tutor, but they don't want you to know because they don't want your child to succeed. I'm not talking about those parents. Those parents exist. I'm 54 years old, and I me, Papa, I'm not shy about my age. I've never been shy. This show has been hearing my age ever since we started. I'm happy with it. Thank God.
You don't need to worry about that. You're so beautiful.
I'm
You're
54
awesome.
years of age,
Carry on.
Papa, and I know that it exists. You know that parents who are so competitive, they are shooting their own foot because they think they've got something that they have to keep to themselves instead of sharing. I'm not talking about those parents. So go and look for parents who are like-minded. If you are somebody that gives out, you'll get it. You'll get somebody out there who will help you. I promise you, I've experienced it so many times. So that's one. Look for parents. Talk to your teachers. Be interested in what the child comes back with. Learn about your child. Please, it's not every child who is academic. It's fine. What other gifts do they have? What other strengths? As they are doing the academics and they are struggling, make sure, because unfortunately it's a one-size-fits-all education. People have to learn English and maths and pass them. Some children might have this genuine dyscalculia where they struggle with math. Find how you can support them, make it fun, and at the same time increase their self-esteem. I.e., please, if they don't get the A and the B, they haven't got it. It's not now that you know how we are. African mothers are also ambitious, to be fair, and especially my generation that you are brought up in a certain way. Oh my God, no. It will scare the child and then dumping their confidence, taking interest, looking at their homework, helping them, getting tutors if you can afford it, talking to their teachers all the time, and questioning when they give them grading. Please don't be afraid to question. You're not making trouble. There's a way you can question the teacher very intelligently without them thinking that we are aggressive. You know how it is. That's it. I also wrote, you can look for other parents in the community. So if it's the church, one-to-one, we've got the parent heritage program. Please feel free to, come contact us. Even some of the parents in the school that you are seeing their children and you are liking what they do. Some parents, sometimes you start striking conversations with parents who attend clubs. And please, clubs are important. Very important if you can afford it. There are lots of after-school clubs that are free. There are lots of community clubs that are free. That helps the child because it will also reveal some of the child's, and so the child can play football, please. Some of our parents, because their child is not going to university or not very academic, but they can play football. If it is the football that is going to bring out the academia, let them play the football. Then I wrote that, so looking at things like social media, if you're a social media person, look at LinkedIn. I would recommend a lady called Elaine Cunningham Walker. If you Google Elaine Cunningham Walker, she's in education, and she's very passionate about ensuring that our Black children are given the opportunities to certain very, very, grammar schools, that sort of thing. So definitely Google Elaine. She's an amazing resource. She can help get secure scholarships, bursaries, give you some of those skills as parents, particularly parents who want their children to, if you feel that your child is academic and you want that extra skill, extra support, definitely Elaine is a resource, and definitely, obviously, one-to-one through our Parent Heritage is a resource. We've got lots and lots of professionals on our site, in our program, not just medicine, but we've got a number of professionals across so many disciplines that can provide that help as well. And then, of course, we've got our young people. My own son, for example, is the student mentor. He actually came. I didn't do anything, no. He came and he said, "Mom, please, I want to help." So he's not only a mentee, but he's also said, like, he's doing this and he's happy to be a student mentor to, people who are planning to go to certain universities and do certain courses. So, our children also are doing this as student mentors as well. So looking and tapping into opportunities, some of those opportunities, how do I get people in church, your community, family members, please, family members are good resources, cousins, nephews, nieces, especially the ones that you see are doing well. Get your children to tag, because in this country, sometimes cousins are not necessarily close. Yes, so, and also if they are close, they are talking on Snapchat and talking about, a lot of it is about nonsense anyway. What young people get up to, which is fine. I'm old-fashioned, that's fine. But tap into the other clever and intelligent aspect as well. And don't forget the other resources also in Ghana. The way kids grow up in Ghana, quite different from the way they grow here. So get them to know the family, take them, get them the opportunity to travel abroad, go to see Africa, go and see Ghana, those sorts of things. We do it already, but when we go there, it's not just family, but getting them and giving them, especially when they are young and they are interested, getting them all those opportunities. I remember when my children were young, their father will teach them about, I think my eldest was around about 4 years to 5 years of age. They could tell you almost every capital country, capital city of the world. I'm not exaggerating. Just to help with their working memory, working memory. It's called working memory. They would recite any capital city. They will 4 or 5 years of age. It's not like they've got super intelligence. No, it is just children are like sponges. I'm a pediatrician, so now I can understand the way the brain works. They are like sponges. That is why when you bring a child to a country, they take on the accent at a certain age. I came in my mid-20s. My accent hasn't changed very much. It has, compared to when I first came, but it hasn't. Look at someone like Marvin. Marvin, you were born in Ghana, weren't you? You were born here and you went to Ghana because you can speak the language.
No, I was wondering.
Yeah. And yet when Marvin speaks, so when you are young, your brain takes on a lot compared to when you're already set and your brain development is over. You can take on a little bit, but not much. So children are sponges. You teach them something, it gets into part of their their synaptic neurons. It's like, imagine a hedge. Papa, we've spoken about that before. Imagine this hedge. And as they are growing, if you imagine a very untidy hedge, this is a child when they are formed and their brain is forming. As they are forming, when you cut the hedge and it's becoming neater and tidier, you see, if there are bad things in that hedge, and you tidy it, and it will continue staying there. It's called pruning, synaptic pruning. That is neurobiology. This is how the brain and experiences stay in there. That is why children who have been neglected and abused when they are young, they have issues. Okay? Because as their brain is pruning, those bad experiences stay in there. They are not pruned away. So likewise, good experiences with nurturing, talking to them, teaching them what they see, what they experience. The brain, as it's pruning, those beautiful experiences and good skills stay within that pruning network. And that is why it's so important for us to be very, very proactive. That proactiveness is parenting, but as well as going beyond, a little bit beyond parenting, called mentorship. Yes, so one-to-one mentoring, www.121mentoring.com. If you come on our website, Stephanie is our brand and marketing manager. She will also respond. We have Marvin as well. So both of them are mentors. Stephanie is a mentee as well as a mentor. Marvin is one of our main mentors, particularly for our young Black men. And we've got leads for our Parent Heritage program, where we can mentor parents, teach you how to gain those skills to mentor your child. We can connect you and show you, signpost you to links that can help you as well. Yes, so I've already done the one-to-one-mentoring.com speak.
All right.
I'm done speaking. Thank you, Papa.
Thank you very much. No wonder Jasmine Leons says, I love the passion pills. Yes. The passion pills, they are working. I think she possibly took overdose. It's working this morning. Very, very, very well. Dr. Stephanie, your final word. I saw you soaking the message from Dr. Susan. Your final words for today.
So I think it's just to recap, just about the importance of mentoring. So again, as Dr. Susan said, we have mentoring through one-to-one mentoring network, but also just, again, supporting your children, being a mentor to the children in your life, really, and just giving them that encouragement and that kind of nurture, because I think it definitely makes a difference. Like, I know for me, I could look back and say, having my parents be so supportive and mentor me throughout my life has made a difference. And having mentoring now has made a difference. So I definitely think with all of this advice, it's worth tapping into, because it makes a massive difference.
Okay, beautiful. And listening to Dr. Susan, one thing that I took out of it was a parent should be able to ask open questions. Some people may say open-ended questions that will cause the children to talk more, not just a yes or no question. And then, how was good today? Okay, it was good. That was it. So parents should be able to learn how to ask open questions or open-ended questions. Are you a parent yourself, Dr. Stephanie? Are you do you have children?
No, I don't currently have children.
You don't currently. Okay, all right.
Papa, she's too young.
Oh. She's too young.
She's too young to think about that. No, she's too young.
Okay. All right. Now I know. Well, so then in that case, I'll leave that question for now, right? I'll leave that question for now. But as I was saying, parents should also know how to ask open-ended or open questions. In that way, you cause the children to be able to think more, to give you, an answer that can lead to several conversations and not just yes or no. And then I think that would also help a lot. All right then. Thank you very much, Dr. Stephanie. Marvin.
Yes.
Your final words today.
I think it's been an interesting engagement, and we've heard a lot from both my colleagues, Dr. Susan and Dr. Stephanie. So the little I'll say is encourage your children into mentorship, encourage them to read, empower them, um, give them the opportunity to engage in a network that will be beneficial to them. Um, in reference to the question you asked about open questions and closed questions, in order for you to be able to do that, in my opinion, is having a relationship with your child from an early age, right? It's doing that foundation is key in having that relationship. So even if if they get older and even you ask a close question, they're comfortable enough to even engage with you, right? And I say this because I I have that I have a young daughter. I would have missed the show because I took her swimming, right? And I've taken upon myself to take her swimming every Saturday morning, right? And she's still a mummy's girl. I'm still trying to be that dad. She's a mummy's girl. But then I do my bit, but it's for actually she's only 2, but making that effort at an early age to encourage. She'll not always be running to mom, but then she can also have a relationship with me. So when you ask close questions, at some point she can still even talk to you and have that conversation. So back to what I was saying earlier is empower your kids. Mentorship is great if you know why you need it. That's a little bit I'll just say to wrap it up.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Susan. Any final words to you? Oh. You're on
Yes.
mute. Yes.
I just thought that not to forget mentoring buddies. Yeah, sometimes you have children who can look up to other children. Very, very important. Children who look up to other children, and parents can create opportunities for them in terms of the good influences. That is something not to be sniffed at. That's what I'm saying. That if you see somebody's child who seems to be doing well, that relationship should be something that parents should encourage, because that child, maybe a slightly older child or a child who has a strength in something, can help your child to think about, okay, this is somebody that they'll be unconsciously emulating them because of those opportunities that have been created. I also believe in the power of clubs. And like I said, it's not all clubs that you have to. In this country, a lot of clubs, you don't have to pay. So those opportunities, it's not, I don't have time. I think we have to really be serious about giving our children, not only our children, there are people who don't have biological children, and yet they are good mothers, they are good aunties, they are good godmothers. We put time into as a child because we want to see them prosper. And so again, you don't have to see your own child prosper. You can see other children. Marvin, who is sitting there, he inputs into my own children. That Marvin. He inputs into my own children. He is there. If they need him, they know that they can trust him and go to him. So that's my personal story in looking at other people. And then again, quite a number of the members in the mentoring organization are inputting into other people's children. We're all doing it, all of us together, all of us. So not just the spiritual legacy, but also what we can do for children. Some of the children that are inputting, I don't even know. I don't know them. But I am very grateful that at least I'm doing my little bit in this little corner of the world in helping the next generation. And it's not just, I'm not talking about just Black children, by the way. Every child is a child. It's not just Black children, but we know that we are talking about our mentoring organization is mainly targeting children from the Black and ethnic minority. But my door is open to any child, irrespective of where they come from. And so, and that's one-to-one as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this show. Yeah.
Jasmine says, well done, Stephanie, Susan, and Marvin, on such an important topic. Tremendous benefits for our children and future generations. Well, I've also refreshed my memories on some of the things that we said a year ago. And one thing that keeps coming back every now and then. It's a problem of the world. It's ignorance. Parents who think they have discovered some goodies for their children and they want to keep it to themselves. I ask myself, do you know about teamwork? Because wherever that you are in this world, we are all part of the cosmic team. And if we all play it very well, it benefits all of us. So you seeing something good and you keeping it to yourself, it means you don't understand teamwork. And it is born out of ignorance, as a matter of fact. And we have been trained up in a very competitive world, thinking I am competing with you, and you are competing with me, and what have you. But I know of a very wise man called Brother Ishmael Tete. You can look up for him on Facebook as well. And he will tell you the only person you are competing with is yourself. So you beat your previous best. You are not competing with anybody, just yourself, because we all have our various timelines. We did not start on the same level. So we all have our various timelines. So there is no competition among us. We are all helping each other to become better versions of ourselves. So I'm very grateful for such an organization as One-to-One Mentoring Network that try to put into perspective some of these things so that parents will be able to support their children and also support other children as well. Thank you once again, Dr. Susan, Dr. Stephanie, and Marvin. Marvin, you said your girl is 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5. Is the second one on the way?
I have to consult my spreadsheet first.
All right then. Thank you, ladies and gents. And then we come again another time. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.
To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. You may tomorrow be gone, tomorrow may never come. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to purposeful living now. That in this you will build your soul, in this you will be the difference, in this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. In this you will build your soul, in this you will be the difference, in this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. Sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. Sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. The world is waiting on you. Do you feel free? The world is waiting on you. Shine, oh Tomorrow will be gone. Tomorrow may never come. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to purposeful living now. And this you will build your soul. And this you will be the difference. And this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. And this you will build your soul. And this you will be the difference. And this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. Oh yeah. To not know your purpose, it's a tragedy. It's a disaster. So wake up, be the difference.
Miado, betima sama so bakro kromi, obewa mazunje. Hi, etiefo.